Yes, our friend Roger Abel from Premier Investments and Wealth Management, the best dressed guy, always.
Thank you for
here.
that compliment. I appreciate that.
All right, so today we're going to talk about not just retirement, what you do before retirement, how you should plan for retirement.
Yeah, one of the most important steps of rolling in there is figuring out what it's going to cost and estimating what your budget's going to be. I make a comment with a lot
here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
All right.
This is my husband right here.
Just in the once column all the time?
This right here. This.
Oh, just in the golf column.
Well, that column and that column, but
okay.
yes.
Malicious, all right. So one of the main things we want to nail down with people when they go into retirement is how much are you going to spend?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, traditionally, people have just said, well, I'm going to spend a percentage of my income. And what we're trying to do is get people to shift their thought process more to what are our needs, what are our wants, and what are our wishes.
Okay.
And what we found is as we shift the thought to needs, wants, and wishes, you can get a more fulfilled retirement. Front load your retirement. Do all the things you really want to accomplish, but it takes some steps to get to that point to figure out what these may be for yourself.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about those steps. That's next here. There we go.
All right, step one. You really need to start to envision what does your retirement look like. And if you don't know what it looks like, just ask yourself a simple question. What does my first year of retirement look like? Because we all have different phases of retirement. We've got the go-go phase, which are the early years. It could be traveling. You're the most healthy, the most active you'll likely be.
Right.
More than likely, this will be one of the most expensive phases of retirement.
And it should be, correct?
It should be, because once again, it's when our health is the best. There's a couple of realities of life. We typically don't get healthier the older that we get. Maybe slightly bit over time we don't.
Right.
The second step is the slow-go years. And it's not that you can't do things, but you've started to lose your energy. Maybe instead of taking 3 vacations...
What if you're doing that now?
That happened to me at like 45, but whatever. But this is one of the lowest cost portions of retirement, because instead of taking the trip to Europe, maybe you're taking a 3-hour drive trip somewhere, and the expenses come down. And I think a lot of people believe it's because they're becoming less active. It could also be your friend group is becoming less active. It doesn't all have to be you. And then finally,
that's good. Blame somebody else. I like that. I'm kidding. Okay, what's next?
No-go years. And this is where, you know, the unfortunate things in life. We have medical problems. We need the assistance of other people. This could also be a very expensive part of our retirement. But when we look at these 3 segments and we approach retirement this way, it makes our needs, our wants, and our wishes become more clear, and how we actually want to spend the dollars in retirement.
So you got to start thinking about that, though, well before you're actually in retirement. Otherwise...
This is really the only way to really dial in what you're going to spend. Otherwise, it's just a big guess. You know, when you're working, if you make a mistake with money, you have time to recover. Oh,
but in retirement...
There's no chance to recover. You're not going to get a second job. It's not coming back in.
That I word.
The third thing we're all aware of today is inflation. Just think over time, inflation will erode our spending. $1 million today in 20 years is worth about $550,000 from a spending standpoint. So you definitely want to make sure your portfolio is outperforming inflation at a bare minimum.
Okay. All right. And I know that some people can retire much earlier because of their job than others, so they have a longer retirement period.
Well, honestly, there's a lot of people who are going to be retired longer than they worked.
It's true.
You could have a 30, 35, 40-year retirement. One of the things we've done and one of the things we're embracing is how do we provide tools for people to figure this out? And we just released our 10 critical steps to take before retirement. There are easy-to-do worksheets. There's a lot of mental envisioning in here about what retirement...
That's hard, I think.
It's really hard. And here's what's interesting about it. What you think you're going to do when you're 45 and 50, and what you think you're going to do when you're 60, your life changes and evolves, and it's really why your plan, your financial plan, should be a very dynamic tool you're utilizing in retirement. If anybody is looking to get help mapping out their retirement, you can go to premieriwm.com. You can download our 10 critical steps to take before retirement. If you want a really nice physical hard copy, call the office and you can request one. I know we did the volatility guide about 6 months ago. That was really well received. I think we had 20 or 30 people call in and want the physical copy. They're really nice. If you want one, please reach out to us. The number is 800-383-3700. 6590.
And reach out to you just for all your financial
Yeah,
needs.
absolutely.
Yep. I need to start thinking about that because, you know, I'm not young anymore, so it might be time to
I
start
look forward
now.
to seeing you next week.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.